Hello, folks. How are we doing? Welcome to Gate 7 International, your official English source for all things Olympiacos FC by the fans for the fans. We are coming to you live. It's me with Ari here, and we've just finished watching Olympiacos versus AEK, a 1-0 victory for the Erythrolefki. Jan and VILA helping us get 3 points there in the end. Thanks to everybody who's here. Before we get started, we want to remind everybody to subscribe to us because it helps us spread our message of loving Olympiacos across the world. If you subscribe, it should allow you to send as many messages as you like in the chat. It's completely free. It takes 2 seconds, and you can unsubscribe anytime you want. So if you haven't done so already, everybody, we would really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Adi, what have you got for us to start off here?
Just a couple of quick housekeeping items, boys and girls. Olympiacos DC, it is the spring season. The year is beginning for them, and they are looking for some sponsors, jersey sponsors for the academy teams. So if anyone is interested in sponsoring an academy team, please reach out to us. You can email all of us directly at gate7intl@gmail.com. And we will forward all of that over to the guys there, Harry, Kara, George, if you remember the interview, and Philip Vonk, who is the technical director. Just so you guys know, they also run a nonprofit. It's called the Olympiacos DC Foundation. Part of the sponsorship program that they do, where they try to get these jersey sponsors, is to help pay the registration fees and for equipment for some of these kids that can't afford them. For those of you who are unaware of how football is in the United States, it is not how it is overseas. This is a sport, unfortunately, that is quite expensive in the United States. There are registration fees, there's equipment costs, recurring costs, all sorts of fees for referees that the clubs have to pay. So all of this is put on the academies themselves and invariably on the people that get involved. So unfortunately, people that aren't well-to-do sometimes can't afford to participate. There's some very talented kids that otherwise wouldn't be able to play the game. So they appreciate any and all sponsors. Again, you can reach out to us directly if you are interested in sponsoring a team. And lastly, we want to thank our sponsor, Paris International. Paris International is your one-stop shop for all of your international transshipping needs, whether it's olive oil, cars, marble, you name it, they ship it. Give our friends a call at 410-675-4696 or send them an email to sales@piraeusintl.com. Peter, chat is lively already, man. Look at all these people checking in. Everyone's saying hi.
I know. Big shout out to Eleftherios, who has given me a special message. I very much appreciate this. How are you? Long time no see. My friend, life is moving 1,000 miles per hour up here. Working on my PhD, trying to become Dr. Thompson as soon as possible. So that is taking up a lot of my time these days. But I wanted to make it here for the Derby, for a big win. I wanted to catch the game. And so here I am. We've got a bunch of other great messages from the chat. Eleftherios again says, we did our job today. Everything is okay. We've got George G. Boys, thank you for doing what you do. Never miss a show. Thank you, George G., for never missing a show and tuning in. Roman Smirnidis says, hello, Red Brothers. A whole bunch of great comments, everybody. Let us know what you think about the AEK game today. Let us know your thoughts about the game. We're going to start getting into it, Adi, here. Oh man, a bit of a sleeper as always, a bit of a snoozer, especially the first half. And at the end of the day, we do get the result. I think in the second half, things do eventually come along, and we really started to give it to AEK. Luckily, they weren't super clinical either, and the chances that they did get, once again, Vaclik did pretty much everything he needed to do. That one, the nerviest moment of the entire game was that near own goal, which to me looked like a miscommunication between Vaclik and Manolas. Yeah. When Manolas, to me, Adi, it looked like Vaclik could have just called that out and let it run to him. That's kind of what I was thinking as the goalkeeper. You need to make that call. And that's probably where the issue arose. And Manolas didn't hear the call, so he tried to get rid. And it's a difficult ball to get rid of. And so eventually nearly went in the back of our own net. But yeah, I guess we have Ahmed Hassan, legend. We've never criticized you on the show here, Hassan. Never would we do that. Thought I may have been needed in the 90th minute. We could have used Hassan a few times this year, Adi. I hate to say it, but it's true. What do we think? What's your thoughts on the game, Adi?
First, man, I love these parody accounts that pop on here. It started with Pedro
more
Martins.
parody accounts. If we can get like the whole squad in here.
The Pedro Martins one killed me at Costa, man. That was hilarious. But as far as the game went, so I have seen a lot on social media. There are a lot of people that are like, oh, it just continues to get worse. It continues to get worse. We're looking terrible. And I see a lot of people with short memories. Was the game uninspiring? Yeah, it was. It really was. I thought it started off a little bit better, but it really got pretty poor, especially in the second half. But this was not worse than our first meeting against AEK. If you guys remember, we didn't even complete 200 passes against AEK the first time we played against them. We were dominated completely in that game. So if we're comparing this to our first appearance against AEK and how our performances were in the beginning of the season, this might be sad to say, but this is an improvement. It wasn't a great game, but it was still an improvement over what we've seen. We just have some short memories and it's still ugly to watch, so we're still upset about it. But look, we got the job done, 1-0. Great work by VILA to not only get the shot but get the rebound off of that too. And if you saw the replay, he didn't make a clean hit on the shot, and then the rebound like hit his shin too. So whatever, we'll take
and
it.
And Sintotas looked like he was gonna give Jan and Vila a hug on the rebound for a bit there as well. Like he came out with like the arms out and he kind of just ran into Vila. I have a couple other shout outs, Adi, that I kind of want to give, and then you know, in the chat, let me know if you agree with me or what, and then you know, Adi can give his perspective as well. But aside from that little blip with Manolas, which once again I think is more the goalkeeper's responsibility than Manolas, but I think the center backs were really strong today in defense.
Yes.
Sokratis and Manolas. AEK were actually getting out in the counter, it seemed, quite a bit, Adi. And they have a few dangerous attackers in their team. Levi Garcia is obviously dangerous when he gets the ball, and Amrabat was quite on it for most of the game, especially the second half. He was everywhere, it seemed. And Manolas and Sokratis did a really good job recovering and getting back, making those last-ditch tackles, and doing really well in set pieces as well, I think. So they definitely deserve a shout-out. And then his appearance was brief, but also we have to say João Carvalho, we saw him against, I guess, Panathinaikos, was it, in the cup?
Yep.
And, you know, we saw some good things, but this is a Panathinaikos, and it was in a rotated team. But today we did see a few more promising bits from Carvalho when he came on. Only a 10-minute appearance, of course, but hopefully we do see more of him in the league here, Adi. I definitely want to see more of him.
Absolutely. I do too. And more on your point with the center backs, so many final balls they stopped. Manolas, Sokratis. I mean, when the wing backs were getting caught further forward, these guys were able to make it back. Everyone says how slow they are, but they look pretty good to me, stopping all of those final balls. And all of that kind of highlighted to me something that we're all going to be worried about against Atalanta, which is how vulnerable this team is in transition. It is bad. I mean, Bukalakis, we've talked about, has been our best defensive-oriented midfielder. But even when he was in the field in this 4-3-3 setup, which is something we're going to talk about later, we saw how bad it was in transition. You know, with a bad pass here, or when I got in strive and really made progression with one quick 2-touch ball, we were in trouble. I mean, the lanes just opened up. And this is for a couple of reasons. One, Jan and Vila can't track back like he used to, which is why he sits anchored back, because he's slower. Madi's been on the defensive side of things just not there. He was better, I think, going forward a little bit, because he was pushed out a little bit wider, it seemed, especially towards the end of the first half. But man, it's That's going to be scary because Atalanta, that team in transition, is really good. And on the defensive side of things, we're really not. So if we're going to pay, it's probably going to be in that area of the field. As far as Carvalho goes, yeah, I mean, Carvalho was, I mean, he's had a couple of great touches. I think it was just also wonderful to when he first came on the field, just a lovely nutmeg and draws the yellow card within literally 30 seconds of being on the field, doing that to Rota. I mean, that type of creativity is what we really, really, really needed. But in the end, actually, there's a comment here from Kevin Milaras that kind of captures how I feel. Okay, accept this all-for performance because this is a really important win for the championship. It did keep us ahead, or it kept our lead in the top of the table. But this dude that is considered as a football, he has green hair, parentheses, needs to be executed.
Maybe that's a bit harsh, but
yeah, I'm not going to go that far. But yeah, he's pretty tragic. But we did see a glimpse of like what we got him for, right? He had a couple of those run-ins behind the defender. He didn't make the most of the opportunities he got, but that's what we've been hoping to get with him.
We've got Henry himself in the chat. He's responding to the doubters. He said, if they let me keep the green hair, I put that one in the net. Adi, I'm not willing to make that sacrifice, to be honest with you. If like the green hair is not it's not negotiable for me, no matter what. I can't have that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, I mean, there's a bunch of comments coming in here. We have Labro in here with his fullback slander, as to be expected. I mean, this is Lambro's right, but we don't need to talk about this. We talk about it all the time. What else is there to say with the fullbacks? They're not very good.
For the audio listeners, Lambro said, Ari complaining about Jan when Lala may be one of the worst fullbacks I've ever seen, other than Oleg and Adrutsos. I actually wasn't complaining about Jan. I'm just pointing out that he's slow. So we get caught in transition because he can't cover the passing lanes. It's the truth. I don't disagree that Lala, Oleg, and Adrutsos haven't been amazing. But at the same time, I give Oleg a couple of passes, but because he's played every damn game. I already brought up at the midway point of the season, Oleg has played more minutes than half of the players in European football, in the top flights of European football, have played all season in their careers. So that is crazy. He looks tired, he looks burnt out, and we need somebody to give him a rest. I give Oleg a pass for that. Lala, I mean, look, Lala's been disappointing for me, especially. He's been a little disappointing. I didn't think he was super awful today. I mean, he got caught forward a lot, I should say. But he had a couple good plays with the ball, and then he did something we don't usually see, which is he actually would go towards the middle with the ball or carry the ball forward, try to take somebody on. We didn't see a lot of that. So I thought I've seen way worse appearances from Kenny Lala than today, at the very least.
I just have one thing I want to say about the fullbacks, and then Costa is here, and I'll let Costa introduce and give some thoughts. At one point, and correct me if I'm wrong, we had a corner, and instead of playing the corner directly in the box, we played a pass on the ground to Oleg to put a ball in. And I just want to say, what was the thought process there of on a set piece, designing a play for Oleg to play a ball into the box? That's all I'm going to say about that. He's getting better at those, but still, that's tragic. As Adi says, he's just very tired, and that's on the club to replace him, hopefully in the summer. Anyway, Costa is here. Hi, Costa. Hope you're well. What did you think about the game today?
What's up, guys? Greetings to everyone tuning in wherever you are. Didn't that short pass to Oleg incidentally lead to the goal that got ruled out?
Yes.
By Masulas. Anyway, no, side note, but yeah, a short pass to Oleg for a cross. His crossing has improved, but I don't think it's improved that much. Anyway, guys, what worries me about the game is, well, the question for me is, should I really be going to Atalanta to Bergamo on Wednesday night? I mean,
Probably.
I didn't need
We are Olympiacos. We go to support the
Nere.
team, win or lose. Come on, Costa.
Nere.
Fame.
I didn't need this game to, figure out how good or bad we are this season. But yeah, of course, I'm still going to Bergamo on Wednesday. Honestly, what worries me most about the game is that I think the lineup that we went out with is what we'll see on Wednesday. We had no width. There was, no wings on the pitch lane. Sorry if you've talked about this a lot already. I didn't have a chance to listen before I tuned in. But you look at Masuras, and Masuras isn't an out-and-out winger. He's more of a second striker, likes to poke in the box, can't play one-on-one. We know what he's good at and what he's less good at. And then on the other hand, you had Agibu, who, for me personally, I've never really liked him when he's played out on the wing. I like to see him more in the centre, kind of in a freer role. And then just, from Oleg, he's been poor. Let's just say he's been poor since January. He's been run into the ground. We've said it many times over. And then I think that Lala was actually our best player the first 20, 25 minutes, and Bukhalagis as well. Anything positive that we did in the first half, there was that pass through with his right foot to Madi for the strike that hit the bar. That was from a right-footed pass by Bukhalagis. And then there was another reverse pass that he played in. So he had his moments. He had his good moments today, Bukhalagis. He also had those moments when he got caught in possession, and then they had dangerous breaks.
Yeah.
And also, guys, he changed the system to 4-2-3-1 in the second half. And it wasn't better. We saw the same kind of weaknesses and frailties where we get exposed in transition. And had it not been for Manolas and Sokratis, good defending, it could have gone bad for us. But in the end, it's a 1-0 win, a goal from a set piece. I'm very happy to see Jan and VILA get on the score sheet. I think that will do good things for it to boost his confidence even more going into the game on Thursday. Those are my initial kind of reactions to what I saw. But yeah, no wings. And how do you expect to break a team down like AEK if you've got no wingers on the pitch? There's no width. And we knew that AEK was going to do that. If anyone was following pre-match to this game, everyone was expecting a rout, 3, 4, 5 goals. The AEK journalists were crying on the radio and on Sport 24, whatever you watch or listen to. They were saying they were very scared about this game. And I thought AEK did all right. Like that front three, they looked dangerous. And I think Amrabat was the best player on the pitch.
Yep.
To be honest.
100%. He was everywhere. I know Pedro Martins in the post-match gave props to 3 players. Amrabat obviously was one of them. Karim Manza-Rifard was another, and Levi Garcia was the third. Levi Garcia, he always looks dangerous when he's on the ball, but so many times he holds it too long. I was actually getting thankful towards the end of the game every time he would get it, because he wouldn't just release the ball after he made space and beat his first guy. He had to go to the next one, then the next one. And it made me feel more comfortable, because that was his modus operandi for the game, was just dribble as much as he could to try and beat everybody. So I wasn't quite as impressed with Levi Garcia, because I thought he was doing us more favors than anything else. But yeah, Amrabat was just tearing us apart. He was a great get for them. I mean, he played really well today. Very, very class player. If they have any, he's definitely one of them.
Wait, can I ask like a dumb question? Well, not a dumb question, but just like an off-topic question, because this
Sure.
is my role on the podcast. I'm not going to say anything serious, guys. Come on. Zuber has Greek letters on his jersey.
Yes,
I always notice this when the non-Greek players have the Greek. What is his connection? Does anyone know like why this is? Just like just love AEK that much? Like, because it was already like a sort of a surprise move to see him go to AEK. Does anyone know in the chat? Anyone know? Like maybe he has a Greek wife or something. I searched Instagram and couldn't find anything.
It's just the branding thing from the kit out, the outfitter. We used to do it some years ago
for everyone as well, not just the Greeks.
foreign players too.
Okay.
In the Greek league, when we played in Greece, all the letters were Greek, and then when we played in Europe, they were all foreign. Like English, sorry.
We got a comment here from DG14. I don't know if you agree, but at least for me, the tempo of the team is painfully slow, no urgency whatsoever. I am very afraid that when Atalanta puts the tempo, we'll be running around like headless chickens. Well, DG, you're actually 100% right. When we've talked about the match tempo before, or at least I have in some of the games, it has been very low. Our season average is under 4 passes per possession. It's really bad. When you look at how we used to play in like the first and second season of Pedro Martins, and I think even the third season too, like it's all 5 or 6. So that means like every time we get the ball, we complete at least 5 or 6 passes before we lose it, on average. Some are more, some are less. But this season, it's like 3. It's under 4. It's like 3.7. That's really bad, guys. It's not a good look. So you're 100% right. And some people measure match tempo in terms of pure possession. So like when you have the ball for 1 minute and you just calculate the amount of time you've had the ball just in that pure minute, we have less than 15 touches. And in other years of Martins, it's closer to 20. It's very noticeable. So yeah, you're 100% right. I see I see Fortunis complaint. He's in the chat now too.
They showed Fortunis on the camera today. That was one of the highlights of the game for me, in like his tracksuit or whatever.
Yeah.
Come back, Costa. We miss you.
Yeah. That would be nice. It would be nice to get him back for sure. But while he's not here, and Lambro actually brings this up, is Joao Carvalho the answer to some of our problems, or am I insane? No, you're not insane. Actually, Costa and I were talking about it in WhatsApp during the game before he was subbed on. He needs to come on. We need somebody with creativity. And then the guy comes on. Peter and I talked about this right in the opening of the segment. Nutmegs Rota, makes him look stupid, gets a yellow card, and was involved in a couple of the plays that led to some great opportunities going down the wing. So Carvalho definitely has some talent and some things that we can really, really use. I will say that. And if he keeps playing like this, he really should see field time. I think we're kicking ourselves because he's not on the UEFA list at this moment. But
if we go through, we can put him on.
We get another change. I thought we only had the one change.
I think after the next round, we can make another change. I might be wrong. If somebody wants to correct me, feel free. But I have a feeling that you can make changes if you qualify. Yeah.
But I'll check on that.
But I mean, I saw enough in the cup game for as long as he was on the pitch. There's nobody on this squad that can do what he does. Fortunis when he's well, but there's maybe something even more there. The lad just sees things happening so quickly, like a million times faster than anybody on the pitch. Like one touch pass, through ball. He's already seen the run. He's already seen the player go. It's almost telepathic, like the passing, and it's sharp and it's crisp. We don't have that. Aguibu doesn't have that. The decision making and the maturity isn't there yet for him. He's got other qualities that Joao Carvalho doesn't have, like the aggression, the ability to win the ball back, to make interceptions, to get into a challenge. But to pick a pass and see things, we were saying on the chat, we just said, like Labro said, are we insane? Like, are we the only ones that think Carvalho needs to come on, even though we've seen so little, we've seen so much? Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you. Also, I have an answer for you, Costa. It looks like you cannot. We can only make changes from the B list, and that's it. So that's all we can do. So again, I just went through a couple of things here. I went onto the UEFA official page, and I don't see anything. But yeah, as of right now, it looks like the only changes that can be made now are from like the B list and the A list. That's the only other changes that can be made. We can't register any new players directly on the UEFA list. So unfortunately, we're kind of stuck there. There's a couple other comments here. Oh, wait, I think you just touched on that. There was another one I actually meant to touch on. From DG14, I'm not that worried about Carvalho in Europe because anyway, he's not ready to play more than 30 minutes at most on Thursday. And unfortunately, I don't think we'll play many more games after that. Well, oh, this is rich right here.
If you want to be third striker, yeah, sure.
Kareem,
guys, Kareem Ansari Fard is subscribed to Gate 7 International, so you better be subscribed as well. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Yeah, guys, I don't know. Like, I don't want to get into full on like Atalanta preview mode just yet. But maybe and I didn't get to talk about the Panathinaikos game. So one thing I kind of just want to bring up, or one player I kind of just want to bring up, is it like, once again, we'll use the word insane. Is it insane that I want to see Solis in maybe not the derbies, but like starting league games a bit more frequently? Like, is that something that, am I alone in that? Like, I really enjoyed his intensity and urgency against Panathinaikos, and we were having a few problems in midfield, and he certainly has quite a bit of physicality. Any thoughts about that, Ari, Costa, chat?
I think we actually did a nice little post. Costa had done one about Solis. We talked about what he did during the game, how he looked, and most of the fan base at least seemed to agree. Everyone was calling for him. I didn't see a single negative thing said about the kid, and the same complaint was there that everybody had, and that's why doesn't he get more game time? You know what I mean? Why doesn't he filter in at the very least in some of these games against these smaller sides? He clearly is up to the task. I mean, the kid, he bosses the midfield. He's not afraid of anything. The passion is there. The energy is there. And I'll add to that with Kitsos. There was a comment earlier about Kitsos, and I think it was DG14 that said it. Look at my eyes. DC is also saying it. Kitsos is another one. Look, we didn't go get a fullback in the window, right? We didn't get any fullbacks. So we said that Kitsos was a new signing. What was the word that was used in the Kotsis Project Tsimikas?
Oh, Neos Tsimikas.
I think it was Project Tsimikas, or like the Project New Tsimikas, or whatever it was. But the point is, when you have these people here and you don't have another option and Oleg needs rest, play them. Just play them, especially in some of these other games. I didn't really expect him to play against AEK. I would have loved it, but damn.
Sorry, I have to read this comment, but it's on another point. But I think Roman made a point earlier about us not having a player like Levi Garcia, who Ari talked about and said holds the ball too much. Yes, very able on the one-on-one dribble. and now Roman's saying, yeah, and we got Rodriguez, which was what I was going to answer you, Roman, but Roman says he literally has an ambulance as a private car.
He might as well. My God.
Yeah, he's, I mean, they say in Greek he's made of glass, but I think glass is stronger.
Glass is definitely stronger. Damn.
Yeah.
Here's one from Hussein Guzel. Solis is better when it comes to moving the ball forward. We are missing this since Fortunis got injured. That's the biggest issue we have, I believe. You're not wrong. When it comes to progressive passes or progressive actions, we'll say, any action that gets the ball moving forward, you're 100% right. All of that's on a downturn this year. All of it. So anybody that can help us progress the ball forward and actually help make meaningful actions forward, I'm all aboard for that. And Solis is one of those things that helps in that. So I 100% agree with that sentiment.
I talked about Solis a lot after the cup game. For those of you that followed my solo session, I guess maybe today it was a case of playing bulk in the second division, and they wanted some of those players there for that game. I watched bits of it because it was hard to watch. It was not a good game, and he didn't stand out. I think with better players around him, for sure. But yeah, of course, we'd like to see more of it. The passion, and like a lot of the comments are saying, he can take the ball forward. He's shown much improvement in terms of holding onto the ball, and some of the flicks that we saw the other day as well in the cup. It's just like confidence. So playing in the B teams, actually, it's done what they wanted, which is these players to get games against men and build confidence. So yeah, are we going to see it this season? I wonder. Maybe in the playoffs.
Well, guys, any points before we move on to man of the match and coach's grade for today? When we've got a bit about Atalanta as well.
Cristiano's with us now.
The GOAT. Well. Let's go.
Jesus.
Cristiano, you're struggling a bit over at Man United. You want to come play for a real club that's going to win trophies? We've got a spot for you. You're going to have to take a real big pay cut, but I mean, it's worth it. Have you seen the views in Glifada? I don't know. Just something to consider, big man. Anyway,
there's a like not really on the AEK post match, but here's a random comment from Thomas.
Man, that's opinion. Nah, man. That's
Isn't this the guy that hit his girlfriend or something?
Yeah, okay. Guys, stop fucking joking about that stuff. Like, genuinely, gonna be serious. Like, that's not something to be joking about, guys. Let's move on. Man of the match for me. I almost want to say Carvalho in 10 minutes doing quite a few good things, but I can't give him man of the match for 10 minutes. It's a toss-up between the two defenders for me. I think I'm going to say Sokratis just because Manolas had that bit of a nervy moment there with the near own goal. Vatslik probably takes some of the blame for that, but both of the defenders were great and they both get a shout. So for me, I'll say Sokratis. Coach's grade. To be fair to Martins, he did make a change at halftime to the 4-2-3-1. The change was bringing on the haircut man, which I don't know. I mean, he blew a couple chances, but I think it's he still was trying to do something and got rid of the 4-3-3. So I'll give him credit for that. Maybe a B for Martins today from me. What do you think, Ari?
So I'll give man of the match because the game was deadlocked. We got the goal. The goal was huge, obviously, for the win. Goal threat was better than early on in the season, but not where we'd like it to be. But Jan and VILA got the goal. He also was pretty instrumental in our possession again. So I would give him man of the match, but a huge shout goes to both of the center backs for how many last balls that they stopped on the way in, covering for our wing backs who would get caught forward, especially Kenny Lala in the second half. So those are my two shouts, but it'll go to, for me, 100%. It'll go to Jan and VILA. And then my coach's grade, I wasn't thrilled when I saw the 4-3-3, but and I know this is something we're going to discuss for pre-match, but I was understanding because personally, I believe that we're probably going to use that in Europe. That's how we're going to line up against Atalanta. So I understood why. It wasn't the best football, but the changes he made in the second half were the right changes, in my opinion, except for Onyekuru. I was not a big fan of that change. I would have rather seen Rony Lopez, but I digress. So I'm going to give him a B+, and that'll be where I stand on coach's grade.
Costa. You are on mute, Costa.
Oh, Jesus. Still doing that. Amrabat? Man of the match? Nah, I mean, man of the match is Jan and VILA. For me as well. He got the goal. I thought he had a decent game. Couple of moments, got dispossessed, but it's nice to see those kind of 30-yard diagonal balls, a couple of those today. And generally, like a couple of really important blocks at the back when AEK threatened on the counter. And yeah, you got the goal, guys. And I agree with what you guys said already in terms of the centre backs. I thought I mentioned it as well. Manolas Sokratis, good game. Apart from that one moment of miscommunication where you're just thinking, what the hell are you doing? Because the keeper was coming out and you just didn't need to do that. That could have ended bad. So coaches' grades, B- for me. It's hard because I just don't think there's anything that the manager can fix now this season. He's not the type of manager that makes drastic changes, and the longer he stays in Greece, the more he's going to get into that kind of Greek mentality and Olympiacos mentality of, all right, just make sure we get the result. So I understand that the setup that he put out, the 4-3-3, was exactly employed because he wanted to keep things tight. And it's not what we like to see as Olympiacos fans, to sit back and hit on the counter. But that could work against Atalanta, or that's what he's hoping. Let's see. I not really impressed. And the change at halftime, it made sense in that we needed a winger to come on, and we've paid 5 million for this guy, and you're just thinking, come on, surely one day he's gonna do something. And when he had that one-on-one, he pissed it down the toilet. So yeah, B- for Martins for me.
Well, guys, a couple more questions quickly. We've got Moscarius asking, are we just going to ignore that Martins cuts off Ronnie Lopez, who's evidently trying, had 2 assists last game, and instead keeps playing Henry? Really? I mean, you guys, we can offer a quick thought on this. My personal take is Henry tracks back, he defends, and that's why Martins likes him. There are things that we do not know about that are going on in training that we cannot see that are probably motivating this choice. Maybe the fact that Henry was bought for 5 million euros also motivates this choice, but I'm not really particularly surprised by the fact that we're seeing Onyekuru more, given what we know about Martins. I don't know if you guys have any points about this.
I am equally as annoyed because since December, Ronnie Lopez has not seen a lot of time, but he's got 2 goals and 3 assists in that short time frame. It's been, I think it's 4 starts he's had since December 1st. So if I'm counting correctly, maybe 4, maybe 5 starts, 2 goals, 3 assists, and we haven't gotten even close to that from Henry. So yeah, I'm equally as annoyed.
Well, guys, we've got a short segment for Atalanta coming up. We're just going to talk about tactics a bit. And the reason we're going to keep it short today is because we do have more coming out. We can't announce exactly what and when just yet, but if you subscribe and then also you make sure to hit that notification bell on YouTube as well, that will allow you to know when we are going live, when we've uploaded a video, and that'll keep you on pace, as they say, with all of our content, because we're going to dive into Atalanta. We're going to learn all about their team. We're going to learn how to beat them, how to get a result, and that will be coming up in the coming days before the game. So make sure to subscribe and keep your eyes on our channel to see when that is coming out. But quickly now, Adi sort of teased it earlier. We've got this Atalanta game coming up. And obviously, we're going to have a lot of defending to do, and we're probably not going to be getting a whole lot of possession in this game. So, Adi, what do you think that we should do in terms of formation? Not necessarily players, but just how do you think we should line up? I know Costa mentioned at the beginning 4-3-3. This seems like the lineup that we're going to see against Atalanta in the midweek. Adi, what do you think of that?
So there's what I want, and then there's what I think we'll see. So all season, I've been saying we should play the formation that we do the best with. And the formation we do the best with is the 4-2-3-1. I get that this is Europe, and I get that these teams are better, but we have not seen a lot of positive movement or actions from a 3-4-3. We have not seen a lot of positive things from the 4-3-3 either. So I don't like, even if it's like a scenario where we're more defensive, that we just kind of shut up shop and hope for the best. I get it when it's Giants, you don't really have much of a choice, but I think we should stick with what we know. What I would prefer is a 4-2-3-1. I think we're going to see this 4-3-3. I don't think it's a coincidence that we saw it today against AEK. So this is what I really think we're going to see, unfortunately.
Ari, what do we think about Manos G7 suggestion, the 9-2-0?
Who was it? Who was
The
it
bus.
that was I think it was the Pedro Martins parody account that said 9-1 or something also. Yeah, look, I mean, if this were Atalanta playing at their peak, I'd say there's probably nothing we could do. They're just going to destroy us, but they're not playing as well. They've been on a down note since the break, or since the end of the winter break. So we have an opportunity here. But if we can't piece passes together and piece together any kind of forward momentum, whether it's on the counter or an open play, there's no hope. So there's a couple of things that we've seen when we play well, a couple of similarities. And that major similarity is playing with a number 10 that is capable, that is competent. In most cases, it's been Agibu Kamara, but he can't disappear in the second half like he did today. But regardless, that's when we've seen Olympiacos at its best this year, is when we're playing with an actual number 10 with two solid defensive mids behind him and wingers that can actually provide width. So that's what we've seen that's been the best, and that's what I want to see. I'd rather not see us park the bus and get humiliated.
Adi, I have a couple questions that I'll open up to everyone. These are just sort of random questions. The first one I'm going to ask, I know Atalanta have been in poor form. Is this the best team that we have faced in a knockout tie in a cup under Martins? That is a question I will ask. I think maybe the other candidate would be Wolves when they beat us in 2020. Even in bad form as they are, Atalanta, they're still obviously a very good team in Italy. And, this core has competed at high levels in the Champions League as well. This is a very good team. We don't need to say that over and over again. And then the other thing that I kind of want to bring up, maybe just as a devil's advocate almost, maybe I'm not the only person to say this, but probably not the popular opinion. Does the haircut man have a role in the starting 11 for Olympiacos next week? I probably don't think he will start, but we need a player who's going to track back, defend, and run. Maybe he's the answer? Even if he can't get us a goal, he's gonna be able to sit back and defend. I mean, what do we think? What do we think about these things? Any thoughts from you guys?
Costa.
No, go ahead.
So ideally, yes, right? He should. Ideally, you would, the way that he plays, the profile of player that he is. You saw he in those two different plays when he got behind the defender on the right. I'm not sure if it was Mitoglu he got past, or if it was Haji Safi. But you saw once he got behind him and the ball was played and he had space to run and he was onside, couldn't touch him. But then it's what he did afterwards that's the problem. So ideally, yeah, he should be able to take advantage, especially because the type of ball that Atalanta normally likes to play, again, when they're high flying, is high possession, high press. But they haven't been able to do that in the last month. I mean, they haven't won since they beat Venezia. And whereas they're normally a team that dominates in possession and they're passing a lot, they haven't been that team for a month. They've been dominated in possession. They've been transitioning between a 4-2-3-1 and a 3-4-3. So they're trying to figure out something that's going to get them back on track. It's the type of game script where you would imagine Onyekuru could be useful, but I would rather not take the risk. I'd rather play with the players that have showed us something. And you know what? If it's one of those things where we're we just need to throw a flyer out there, fine. But I've got no faith. I have no faith in him at all. So I don't want to play him personally.
People are very upset about that suggestion in the chat as well. Although Thomas Sa does say, yes, he's our fashion icon. It's a big thing in Italy, guys. So
we're not playing in Milan, but we're not far from Milan. But anyway, I got a few things. So, you asked, is it the best knockout team we've played?
Under Martins, obviously.
Under Martins, they've got problems since January. What is it? Ilicic is going through things, depression. Not going to go into that more, but that's very serious, obviously, and I don't believe he's, in contention. And then Zapata is out for 5 months, I read, and generally it's not looking good for them. I saw somebody in the chat was following the Juve game, and that's what I was trying to look for all this time. I've had my head down trying to find out what's going on in that game.
It's tied 0-0 and like halfway through the second half, last I checked. Yeah, still 0-0, 73rd minute.
So they're coming off the back of a big game against Juventus as well. Anything can happen in Europe, guys. I know they've been poor since January, and it's different. They can, as they say in Greek, they can change things on Thursday. It's a different competition. Everyone's watching. That's motivating for them. It should be motivating for us. That's what we can hope for, really, in terms of seeing something better on Thursday, is that the players, their ego responds, says, all right, I'm not playing low-tempo football in Greece. And Jan Villa alluded to this in his post-match comments. And he said, Italian teams are tough. They're aggressive. It's going to be one of those games. The tempo is going to be higher. It's going to be an up-and-down match. The players need to be determined. Determination is going to be a key factor in the game, he said. So we've got to see the tabuka. We've got to see some of that on Thursday. That kind of, I don't want to lose this game, from those players. Show some bloody character. Now, to go back to that question, are they the best team? I'll answer it in a different way. This is our worst team under Martins.
Yes.
Our worst team. I don't know if they're the best team that we've played, but this is our worst team of his era. Team. Not bad players, but this isn't a team. He hasn't built a team with this squad of players. Let me be clear. On Yakuru, I agree with what Labro's been saying in previous pods, that this could be his game. But you see that chance he squandered today, just like, come on, mate, that's your chance. That's your bread and butter. Finish it. That was, and that really pissed me off, man. I thought that was it. I thought that could really unblock him. It's like, come on, mate. Finish it. So I don't know. Like, what do we do on Thursday? 4-3-3 and see what we saw again today. There's what I want and what the manager wants and what we're going to see. Ari said it. I can't see how he lines up with those three slow midfielders. Madi Camara isn't slow, but his performances have been slow and so unpredictable and erratic this season that I don't count him as a body in the midfield. They're just moments in the game where you see him on the ball and he drives forward, and they're just moments, one or two in the game where you think, oh, there he is. But otherwise, he's not there. It's like he's a Super League player.
Right.
An average Super League player. I'm sorry. And you can't play with those heavy bodies like Bouchalakis and Villa in the midfield. We're going to get overrun. If the strategy is to go into that game and sit back and wait for the counter, it's going to be horrible. It's going to be hard. So I have a feeling we might go with three at the back. I have a feeling we might go with three at the back and Masuras up top with one of Tiquinho or El Arabi. The fact that, El Arabi came on for 7 minutes or like 10 minutes at the end, didn't he? Barely touched the ball. I don't know. Masuras for sure. I think it's going to be two up top. And hopefully Aguibo is in the midfield, not on the wings. We need somebody to press those midfielders of Atalanta. Otherwise, it's going to be a very, very long night.
And don't forget, they press really high too. They press high, and they have a very high pressing intensity. Even in Europe, they're averaging around 9 in Champions League. They were averaging 9 passes allowed per defensive action. We don't even do that in Greece. We used to press really high like that in both Europe and Greece. We don't do that at all. I'm seeing in the comments here, Atalanta just scored an amazing goal.
Malinovsky just scored.
Exactly what we
1-0,
need.
78th
Exactly what
minute.
we need, boys. Them catching form before they hit us. But no, Costa, everything you said, man. Plus, they're going to be pressing us high, and it's not like we've really done well when we're pressed high or pressed at all, because we can barely connect passes and we're not moving around a lot in open space. So, color me worried.
Guys, I don't want to seem too pessimistic here. Obviously, the odds are against us, but we are Olympiacos. The odds have been against us many times before, and we've won. I will say, I think the one thing that has me maybe hoping is, obviously, as we've talked about, Atalanta, poor form. They're not going to be, they haven't been putting 4 or 5 goals on teams the way that they had been doing previous years. That used to be their knack, is scoring all these goals. And as Costa mentioned, 2 of their biggest attacking players are going to be missing, Zapata and Ilicic. We also have a very, very good goalkeeper in Vaclik that really inspires a lot of confidence in me. He's an amazing shot stopper with great reflexes. And that might be just
I think we lost Peter.
Oh fuck! Did I get kicked?
we lost you for like 2 seconds.
What I was talking about Vaclik and saying how he could be a game-changing player in our that's all I really wanted to say. We could see a big performance from him, and potentially, maybe I'm not super. I don't expect us to score goals, to be honest with you, but Vaclik may keep us in the tie with a big performance in the midweek.
How do you guys feel about? There's a lot of people in the comments talking 3-5-2. 3-5-2 and Masuras, one of the individuals up top.
That's
what Costa said.
That's what I said. But again, you're relying on Oleg and Kenny to have the match of their lives, unless Pedro Martins does a masterclass and puts Andrutos at right back, and Andrutos has the game of his life and then gets sold for 5 to 10 million at the end of the year. That would be amazing. But
Atalanta buy him. Big business. Big business.
And Agibu is going to have to be playing amazing box to box also for that to work too. Don't forget. So, and I guess you would have to, but see, so here's the thing then. So if you run 3-5-2 and Masuras is in that front too, do you go with Tiquinho to start, or then do you go with El Arabi?
Who's your rhythm striker?
Well, so it's right now I'd say it's Tiquinho, right? But if you're in a position where you're playing a deep 3-5-2, it would probably be a mid block again, like we did against Fenerbahce. You need one of those forwards, not exactly like Big Little, but you have, like a 4-4-2 Big Little, but you need one of them to be a playmaker, a producer. And Masuras isn't really that. So, and neither is Tiquinho for that matter, but El Arabi is. When his hold-up play is good, when it's good, then he can do that in spades. And unfortunately, it hasn't been very consistent this season.
That was him today with the ball to Henry, and then Henry fucked the chance, right? That was a great pass.
Yep.
Guys, I think we need El Arabi. I don't know if Martins will do it. I know, as Costa had mentioned earlier, he didn't play today. Maybe that was, you could interpret that different ways maybe, but guys, this is the guy. This is the killer. We need El Arabi in this game. He's the one who's he shows up for these games, guys. I think we need to start him.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
What about El Arabi and Tiquinho in a 3-5-2? Have we seen that this year? I mean, who's going to give them the ball if it's one of them and we play a 3-5-2? Who's going to deliver? That Tiquinho wants the ball into feet or high in the air. He's good at hold-up play, but who's going to deliver the ball to him? Today, the only one that delivered the ball in was Kenny in the first half at times. Agibor creatively today was below average for me. I can't really remember him doing much, if anything, today.
In the
Am
first
I wrong?
half. It was just
Am I
really the
wrong?
first half.
Not a lot, especially not with the passing. He had a couple nice dribbles, I remember, but not really the passing.
Yeah, and then there's a comment here. Ilios Gashib Oleg, obviously, with the service. I mean, yeah, he delivered those balls in, but yeah.
So when that question that you asked, Costa, going back, who's providing the service? You're asking that if you start El Arabi and Tiquinho up top?
Well, one of them, because
one of them.
Because El Arabi can play a ball,
right,
like he did for Henry, but you wouldn't really. Would you see that in a 3-5-2?
Could we start Mathieu with one of them? Could Mathieu be on the pitch somewhere? I feel like he doesn't really have a strong place in a 3-5-2, but
I think that's
he would
fair.
He would provide the creativity we need, but there's not really a spot for him in that formation.
He'd be physically dead in 15 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He'd be super sub. You'd bring him on.
He would probably sub on. Yeah. Guys, I mean, like the thing is, this is a big game. This, as we've said, we are not favored at all. And a lot of things are going to have to go very right. So, we're saying all these ifs and stuff like, yeah, we have to accept no matter what tactic we pick, a lot of things are going to need to go right. Maybe, like the fullbacks, we might just have to say, Kenny Lala, if you're shit, we're not going to win. You have to go out your only choice. You have to play well. And it's in God's hands, as they say. It's not in Pedro Martin's hands to some degree. But I mean, I think this is true for any tactic. It's just a matter of we have to hope the players are motivated. The tactics can help, but at the end of the day, we're just going to need the fullbacks to do more than what we've seen from them for most of this year. For me,
yeah.
I'm going to go back to that question, and sorry if I'm asking this. That's the same question in a different way, but who's going to play the ball forward? Who's going to create in any of the systems that we talk about in Europe? Who's our creative force in the team?
Jan and Vila 30-meter passes.
We don't have one.
Well, yeah, we don't have one. It's either come from Agibu Kamara or, whether it's a wonder strike or he intercepts a ball and gets a lovely counter for us or something. Or it's one of those occasions where Jan and Vila is moving the ball around and we catch them kind of like pinched in too far when he switches the ball. Those have been most of the context for when we have succeeded or we have made dangerous opportunities in open play. It hasn't really been anything else. So we're going to hope for either an Agibu wonder strike somewhere or another counter where he steals the ball and we have an odd man rush or something like that. That's all we've seen this season. So that's what you're counting on. And he can't you're hoping also that he doesn't disappear for most of the game.
Well, folks, any other questions in chat? We are beginning to come up on an hour here. We do have a couple more things we want to bring up. Look at my eyes. DC is watching the Atalanta game, and apparently they're hitting their stride here. It's still 1-0, but they're playing with that energy that we are quite afraid of.
This is an interesting comment as well. DG14. The main idea of 3-5-2 is a mid-block, force the ball in the middle and have Agibu and Madi be really aggressive with interceptions and then a quick counter-attack from there. Yeah.
Right. That's what I said. That's what I said earlier.
But then do you play Villa or do you drop Bouchalakis? Is Pedro Martins going to drop Bouchalakis and not play Jan Villa after today's game?
You can't drop Bouchalakis if you want a successful mid block. He's the only one of our midfielders that has the capacity to close lane downs. You can't. So you have to find a way.
But you need Agibu and Madi for their more aggressive profile.
Right.
They've got more legs. They're faster.
Right.
And then if you play Bouchalakis and Jan Villa, you've got slow legs.
Right. This is the conundrum you find yourself in. It is, because tell me with a straight face that if you pick Madi and Vila Agibu, that you are comfortable, that you think we can actually stop any possession in transition. If you could tell me that with a straight face, then I'm all for it. But
if Madi Camara turns into Madi Camara, then yes. The problem is he hasn't been Madi Camara.
yeah, it's a big if. That's a big if. And that's not, here's a really good comment, actually. And part of the reason why our press has been dog shit, from DG14. Another thing is that even when we press, we don't press to force interceptions. We press to force long balls from the opponent's defense and then start our attacks again from the center backs. I don't know if the intent is to do that, but that's what we've seen. And it's a whole lot different than how the press used to work out for us under Martins in the past couple of years. That's 100% true. I don't, and the reason I'm hesitant to say that that the intention is to do that is because I have never been involved in a pressing system myself where we had like a truly desired outcome. The point is to make mistakes. You want to force them to panic and make a mistake with the ball. Whether but that's me personally. I've never played in any pressing scheme like that where we wanted them to do a long ball or catch them. You just want them to make mistakes. And in this, and the way things have been, maybe because our press hasn't been as intense, maybe because it hasn't been as good, that this is what we've seen. But yeah, that's a huge difference. Very, very, very big difference.
Questions are still rolling in. We're past the hour mark. We're going to keep it going a little bit more, guys. So keep sending those questions in. Big game coming up on Thursday. I will be in Bergamo. I'm heading out on Wednesday, flying to Milan, and I'm driving up to Bergamo. It's an hour trip. I'm going to try and do a little vlog as well. So check that out soon. If you guys have any ideas or you want something from Bergamo, I don't know, send us a message on our socials. Make sure you follow our Instagram. Lots of stuff's going to go up there. Stories, whatnot. Check it out. I think there's going to be around 500 fans. I think we'll get 500 tickets. That's what I know so far. We did receive some messages about tickets, what's going on. So you either need to be part of a fan club, in Europe or wherever there are Olympiacos Gate 7 fan clubs, or you need to be season ticket holder to get access to tickets for the game. So that's all you need to know in terms of what's going on with tickets for the game. Make sure you hit subscribe, the bell at the bottom, so you don't miss any of the great previews that are coming up, and the vlog, which will come eventually from the game and everything that's going on around at pre-match and post-match with regards to Atalanta. Also, guys, we said before we did hit 1,000 subs a couple of weeks ago. Thank you so much to everybody, old and new, those of you that have been with us right from the beginning. We still see you here in the chat. A lot of new people that we see every time we do a new live is really fantastic. And if you want, guys, as well, you can sponsor us. There's a little $sign underneath the chat as well if you want to contribute something so you can help us keep growing. We've got a lot of great things going on. Don't forget the awards, Gate 7 International Awards. It's early, but we're telling you already now in February, this year's going to be very special. So yeah, make sure you keep it locked. We can go back to some questions, shall we?
Yep.
What's this? Forest fan. How did Carvalho perform? I'm keen to see him succeed with you. He's such a talent, but needs belief in him. Can I quickly start this one?
Do it.
So Katrina, he came on today on the 80th minute. First thing he did was nutmeg the opposing right back, make him look like a fool, and then he won a yellow card from him. And generally been very, very good. He's played 60 minutes in the cup on Wednesday. Very positive. He's got a lot of vision, is what we were lacking, which was creativity. When I spoke to Forest fans, Mr. Dorr, very good first impressions. Want to see more of him. He's being eased into the team. I'm not convinced personally that he's going to break into the starting 11 before the end of the season, but it was positive to see him get a run out today, and definitely he's the type of player that we've been missing this season.
We have a comment to echo this from Look at My Eyes DC. Unfortunately, he's out of our European squad, and I think the three of us sort of feel that way as well. Maybe Martins wouldn't use him, but his creativity is something that nobody else currently in our team possesses. And so he's a very useful player to have for us, and we hope to see more of him.
I think Lambro's burner account is here in the comments.
Which one?
George Kefalas. I just lost the comment that I had. Oh, here we go. Right here. This is going to be Lambro at 57 years.
Lambro's been a fan for 57 years.
This will be Lambro in when he's in his 50s. George Kefalas, I have rarely seen a team of Olympiacos, and I've been a fan for 57 years with players who simply don't know the basics like controlling the ball or passing it. This is a disgusting team.
George Kefalas, you forgetting about aekfc? That was some dark time. Anyway, the wonderful Champions League campaign when we got like 1 point in the entire group stage.
Yep.
Juventus have scored a goal in the Atalanta game. It's 1-1, 93rd minute in stoppage time. Atalanta eat a goal. Interesting stuff, folks. Interesting stuff. Anything else, folks, from the chat? I think we're above an hour, but there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Big tie. We've got more coming up. I'm not going to be able to do any of the midweek stuff, so these are my takes. This has got all my takes out here. Got a comment from DG14. Costa is getting really hard on Thursday. Maybe running the pitch and fake passing out to help the situation a bit. This could be big if Valbuena's playing. He might need a bit of a breather in the second half. Costa, you can I don't know, pitch invader. What do you think? Are you willing to do that? Ban yourself from all football games for your life.
If I'm going to get on the pitch and Valbuena needs some help taking a set piece,
it'd be some really Costa. Imagine being able to show that to your kids in 20 years. I went on the pitch. That was me. You could just show them the video.
I don't know if this is the right time to say this, but I do have strong feelings about that kind of thing. Fans belong in the stands. Footballers belong on the pitch.
Yeah.
Fans have nothing to do on the pitch. And it still happens in Greece a lot. Okay, people get overexcited or whatever you want to call it. But I have strong feelings about that. And I guess I am
it
using
happens
this
in Canada
platform
too,
to that. Say what?
It happens in Canada too.
It does.
Fun fact.
Yeah, it's not only in Greece, to be fair. It is not only happening in Greece.
What they don't show you is a lot of times on TV, because I was at a Canadian national team game and 5 people came on. What they don't show you is these people getting absolutely trucked, literally just taken out and taken out of the ground in handcuffs. So as I said, you literally get banned from ever going to a sporting event ever again. So if anyone watching is thinking of invading the pitch, just maybe ask yourself, is it worth it? That's all I'm going to say about that. Got another one from Sokratis Pugiotis. I would play a 4-2-3-1 on Thursday. Better stability in the midfield, and we have more numbers going forward. Agibu behind Tiquinho with Masuras and Valbuena out wide. I think we'd have to take Valbuena off early, to be honest with you, if we did that. But I don't know what you guys think. I would rather have Valbuena finish a game than start a game, right? It's not about who starts. It's about who finishes in some of these big ties. So if I would rather bring Valbuena on in the for the second half or something like that than start him, I think.
I would agree with that. I would want to at least try and hopefully we keep it close. You know what I mean? And then second half, maybe something to help kind of establish some kind of dominance or something like that. Bring Valbuena on. I also wouldn't want to start him, unfortunately, because if it goes the way I'm thinking it's going to go, then it's not like he's going to see much of the ball anyway. I would rather see him as a impact sub. But that's my personal opinion. Costa, what do you think?
About Valbuena?
Yeah. Would you start him or impact sub?
No, I would absolutely not start him. And frankly, yeah, he can come on and he can take that set piece, but we need to be in a position, or we need to have players on the pitch that can actually get us into their half and win a corner or win a free kick. I just feel that with the tempo that we'll be playing at in Europe, he just can't. I don't know if he can keep up. And if he comes on for like 10 minutes, a player normally needs like at least 5 to 10 minutes or 10 minutes to warm up, like when he's come on as a substitute. And he needs that time in Greece. In Europe, has he even played that much in Europe this season? I don't remember him really featuring in many games.
Not since like the qualifiers when like everybody had COVID anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's a follow-up for you. What about Fadiga?
I had an interesting idea, actually. I was thinking about this during the week, but I thought that this experiment that Martins was trying with Fadiga out on the left was quite interesting, in a sense that, yeah, sometimes he did over dribble, but he's fast, like he's not afraid. He had, he got involved like against Olympiacos, but he's got a lot of energy. And I liked the fact that he was kind of not really playing as a winger, but he was positioned out there in the formation, but he was playing more as a tucked in left centre mid that received the ball out on the wing and then let the wing back overlap. So I wonder if that might be a kind of ace in his pocket, if that's something that he might dare to try. He's listed, no?
Fadiga is, yes.
I think we did. He was one of the ones we added on.
Manolas, Gary, and Fadiga.
I wonder if that might be a surprise on Thursday. And I was thinking about that. I don't know. What do others think in the comments? What do you guys think?
I think it could be.
I almost think it's a similar situation to Solis in some ways. Like maybe physically, he's very young and obviously there's some concerns there, but effort wise, he's going to give us more effort than honestly any of the first team players, really. He's very aggressive. He's not afraid. And that might just be what you need in a game like Atalanta, when I can really see it just becoming like a slog, a deadlock, and like nothing is happening. Fadiga might be a player to break that monotony. I hope he's at least I hope he's on the bench, and I hope he's available as a substitute. And it would be nice if Martins looks to him. He's also quite versatile, and if we're doing something like a 3-5-2, he could pop up in the center, and he can also play out wide if we need him to.
Here's one from Viper. In hindsight, would you place Carvalho in the European list for Atalanta? In hindsight, yeah, for Gary. In hindsight, yeah. He actually played wide most of the time today too. So having one creative player on the pitch that can just make some kind of magic happen, I would never say no to personally.
Guys, I just want to say I've put something in the chat on YouTube. So I've put a poll there. Match predictions, maybe something that we should do, guys. What our predictions are for the game. But I've put a poll on YouTube, so you can click win, draw, or loss. Let us know what you guys think it's going to be on Thursday.
Is this just you're saying just for the first leg, right?
For the first leg,
yeah.
Atalanta Olympiacos. What do people think? Win, draw, or loss? Should we start in alphabetical order? Ari, what do you think?
I'm gonna say it's gonna be 2-1 loss.
Costa, actually, alphabetical order is you. Sorry.
2-2 draw. We take it back to Bidas.
My God, you see us? Who's scoring our goals, Costa? Give us some names.
Come on, you want me to be that specific?
Agi will understrike for me.
Manolas has got a goal from a corner or a free kick. Henry, the other one.
Malaka. I do think if we score, it's going to be set
I got a good one.
pieces.
I got a good one. I got a good
Yeah.
one. He's going to dye his hair red. He's going to dye his hair red for the game. It's going to change everything. He's going to score a goal.
What if he comes out? What if he comes out and his hair is like blue and white? He's like, oh, I was just trying to get my hair like the sky. He's like, Henry, no, we're playing Atalanta this week. Anyway, look at my eyes, DC. Cisse, 2 goals. It would be nice to have Cisse back in the team. We saw him in street clothes today. He's obviously just won a trophy. Big up to Cisse for winning the Africa Cup of Nations. Congratulations to him. My prediction, I'm going to say 2-0 to Atalanta. I don't see us scoring a goal personally. I do think if we do, I think something like Manolas off a corner would be a very likely outcome. But 2-0, I think, to be honest, keeps us in the tie coming back to Greece. And so, I don't think Atalanta are going to put a bunch of goals on our head, to be honest. I think maybe at most 3, but I don't think we're going to concede. I think 2 is probably as many as we'll concede personally. And that keeps us within range coming back to Greece. So we'll see.
And remember, no away goals.
No more.
No more. Do we have anything else?
I think that's it.
Still some predictions coming in. Our record in knockout games away first is not good, says Concept Calcio. True that.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
I can think of a few. Yeah, taking scores back to Garaskagi hasn't been good in recent times.
That's
true. This might be kind of a weird comparison. I might be way off, but you know what this game I could kind of see happening? Do you guys remember the second Man City game last year when we lost 1-0? And it was home. Just like, yeah. I think, was this the one when Fortunis almost scored at the end and that was like our only like sniff of a chance the entire game? Or was that the other one?
He broke through like once, I think.
Yeah, and then like Pep Guardiola like told him he thought he was going to score. Mythical moment for Fortuna. And I feel like we could see something similar to that where, like we spend a lot of time defending, but we defend well and maybe only maybe don't concede any goals, maybe only eat 1, but I just don't have a big confidence we're going to score. Roman Smirnidis, no away goals in Europe. I think most places have abolished this rule. Greece is EPO is behind like 5 years on every single ruling like this. So we still have away goals in the Greek Cup, of course, but in all UEFA competitions, there are no more away goals.
Muscarius, it seems like no one considers Ronnie Lopez for Atalanta. It's a weird thing that he's done with Ronnie Lopez, though, isn't it? Because he got 2 assists the other day in the Cup. Today he didn't get on the pitch. Was he even on the bench? I'm not sure.
I didn't see him. I didn't see him anytime they panned the camera over, to be honest with you.
I think he was on the bench, but he's in the UEFA squad list as well.
Yes.
So that's a weird one too, man. I have to say, like, whether
he was not on the bench.
No, he wasn't.
Vrusai was and Fadiga was. This is what my football app is telling me. No Ronnie Lopez, which is a bit outrageous, to be honest with you. But anyway,
that's a weird situation. And then we heard some weird things too during the transfer window about them trying to send him to Turkey.
I thought he was going to go out and play with Hassan in Turkey. I thought that was what was going to happen. It seemed like it was all but done, and he's still here. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I think, like I said earlier, this is there are some factors that we will never know as fans of the club, what's going on behind the scenes, right? So
it's one of those things, though, isn't it? Because he's on loan, Henry's not.
Yeah.
Carvalho's in now. Fadiga's in. Yeah. Is he a cup player now? I don't know. Kunde, the other one. My God,
when we get on the bench today.
No, he wasn't. Good, he was in the stands. But I mean, guys, I'll tell you what. At the end of the season, when we do our Gate 7 International Awards, I'm not so sure I would vote Henry Onyekuru as my coat of the season.
Parto tu Hrunu, right? It would be down to. Oh, okay. Oh, it's a feminine. Okay. I already know a certain someone is voting for Kenny Lala.
Rumor also has it we will be purchasing a coat from the thrift store to send to the coat of the season as well. So
hey, I'm too broke for that. One of you guys better be the one getting the coat. That's all. We'll
be displayed during the award show. We will ship it over to said individual. It'll be their new coat.
Guys, the awards are going to be player
that's not on the squad anymore that deserves that.
Can we just give it to Ruben Vinagre again?
Exactly.
Honestly, like
we need to just send him we need to send him a coat from last year.
Honestly, guys, like as bad as Henry has been, like nobody on this team has like been in the same universe as Vinagre and Lazar as far as coats go. That's my take, at least. Like if like Henry played for us last year and like Koundé played for us last year, like I don't think they would be in the top 3 of coats, because last year was a pretty phenomenal year for coats, especially considering the team was not even that bad. Like Lazar not having like a goal contribution all season long, except for like the cup, and Vinagre playing like 2 games and then being shipped off. Anyway, guys, I think we're going to be wrapping up soon. I don't know if anybody else has anything to say, maybe a couple final comments in the chat. But yeah, like we've said a few times already, make sure to subscribe, because we've got some content coming out that we can't announce yet. Pre-game stuff for Atalanta that'll be going live not right before the game, but in the coming days up to the game. If you want to know when that stuff is,
I'll do some Instagram live. I'll do some Instagram live.
Yeah.
Check that out.
Costa vlog from Bergamo. Keep that in mind as well. That's going to be very, very exciting. So yeah, keep your eyes out. Watch this space, as Costa likes to say. Watch this space. The British.
Peter, I've got something real quick. Like, since we did this poll, so thanks everyone that voted so far. So 26% say win, 35% for a draw, and 39% loss. So it's pretty even.
Well, then we're going to have to see. Let us know if you like the polls, guys, because they're kind of fun. I don't know. I'm kind of messing with the polls, getting more polls going. Anyway, folks, I don't know if we've got anything else. Ari, Costa, any last final words? If not, thank you so much, everybody, for watching, especially if you've made it this far. We love and appreciate all of you. We will be, I'm going back on my month hiatus to work on my PhD. I'll see y'all in like a month or so. Sorry. Maybe sooner. We'll see. We've got lots of content coming out for this big tie. Let's do it. We are Olympiacos. We got to believe. And we'll have everything you need to get ready for the game, live reactions before and after. So stick with us, folks. Thanks so much for your support. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you very soon.
You just listened to an episode of the Gate 7 International Podcast, a podcast connecting Olympiacos fans from Brussels to Tokyo, from Toronto to Geneva. We are 4 Olympiacos fans from every corner of the world, bringing you news and interviews of the team you love in English. With new episodes twice a week, you will never miss out on the latest updates and stories of the team you love. If you liked what you heard, make sure to follow us on social media at Gate7INTL. Give us a subscribe on YouTube, or even leave a review on all our podcast channels. Until next time, this is our team, our city, and our story. Θρύλος είσαι. Στο μυαλό κάτι μαγικό.